Welcome back to Court TV Live. Let's get you back inside of this Florida courtroom where we are watching together a plea hearing for a man who is about to plead guilty to the killing of Madeline Soto. It's Stephan Sterns.
Just one day before his sex crimes case was to begin, Sterns reached a plea deal. He is accused in the death and sexual abuse of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
Let's get back in the courtroom now, picking up right where we left off. The judge is conducting what's called a colloquy, where you make sure that this defendant is accepting this plea deal free and clear of any pressures. And he's asking him if he's been explained about what life in prison without parole means.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in 24 CF 632, counts 1 through 8, the maximum potential sentence would be a mandatory sentence of life in prison without possibility of parole. 9 through 13 and 14 through 20 would be first-degree felony allegations with a maximum potential sentence of up to life in prison. You understand those maximum potential sentences on that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have a right to have a jury trial as to each of these allegations? And at the jury trial, the state of Florida would have to prove those allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. At that trial, your attorneys would be with you. They are experienced, board-certified criminal expert trial attorneys. They would be cross-examining witnesses, examining the evidence against you. You would have a right to present your own witnesses and your own evidence. If you had witnesses that did not want to come to court, you could have asked me to make them come to court with a subpoena. You could have spoke at your trial, or you could have exercised your right to remain silent and not spoken. That would have been your decision after you talked those decisions over with your attorneys, and your jury would have been instructed not to consider your decision to remain silent in any way in rendering a verdict. You would have had a right to have your trial recorded and appeal any errors that occurred in the process. Do you understand you are giving up all of your trial rights if the court accepts this plea? Because I will be imposing the sentence that you have agreed with the state of Florida to be imposed upon you, and we will not be having a trial on any of these matters. Do you understand those things?
I understand.
And, Your Honor, just for record purposes, counts 9 through 13 are first-degree felonies punishable by life, as the court indicated. Count 14 through 20 are actually life felonies.
These are life felonies with a minimum mandatory of 25 years. Is life a required sentence, or would that be a punishable by life offense?
It's a life, punishable by life offense. I just wanted the record to be clear. This court indicated first-degree felonies, punishable by life. I just wanted the record to be clear that 14 through 20 are life felonies with 25-year minimum mandatories.
So the plea form indicates that these are first-degree felonies. These are actually either capital offenses or punishable by life offenses. Do you understand that, Mr. Sterns?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you or pressuring you into make the decision to resolve your case this way?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any other promises other than what has been presented to you as the agreed-upon sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or mental issues that cause you not to understand the decision that you are making?
I am not.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, that entry of this plea would subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes.
And if you ever before had been convicted of a sexually violent or a sexually motivated offense, entry of this plea would have subjected you to involuntary civil commitment at the conclusion of any incarcerative sentence. Do you understand that's the state of Florida law?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, do you have any competency concerns regarding Mr. Sterns' fitness to accept this plea agreement?
No, Judge.
Ms. Borden?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sterns, based on your responses to the court, based on your indicating that you have reviewed this decision with your attorneys, based on your initialing of the plea form and your acknowledgement that you understand all the terms and conditions, rights and obligations on these plea forms, including the addendum, the court is going to make a determination that you are alert, that you have had an opportunity to discuss this with your attorneys, that you are making this decision freely and voluntarily and without coercion. The court accepts your plea. Let me see the attorneys.
Let's bring in John Day, trial attorney, still with us as we watch this hearing take place and unfold before us. Stephan Sterns there, the judge accepting the plea. John, what are your thoughts?
Judge accepted the plea for the defendant. Death penalties off the table, guaranteed life in prison without the possibility of parole. You always wonder what is going through the defendant's mind. Is it a sense of relief knowing his future? But more significantly, what's going through the minds of the victim's family? Is it relief that they got closure? Did they get the justice they wanted? Do they have to face a trial and the possibility of years of appeals? So it's always a question, how do the victims' families feel at that moment when they see the plea being accepted?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of questions about the main victim family member here, and that's the mother of Madeline Soto. We have to take a break. John Day, thank you for your analysis, but certainly we'll be asking that question. Is Jen Soto inside of this courtroom, and could she be seeing the inside of a courtroom in a different way now that Sterns has taken a plea? Breaking news out of Kissimmee, Florida. The court has accepted a plea deal involving Stephan Sterns, where he is expected to enter guilty pleas to not only the killing of Madeline Soto, but countless counts of sexual exploitation, sexual battery, child pornography involving his girlfriend's 13-year-old. We're going to get you back inside of that courtroom right now, where we see Stephan Sterns inside of that courtroom in between his two attorneys and the prosecution saying what they are offering in exchange for taking the death penalty off of the table.
Court has had discussion with the parties regarding the plea of no contest as to 24 CF 1293, the first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto. Mr. Sterns, how do you plea to first-degree premeditated murder in 24 CF 1293?
No contest.
And as to counts 1 through 8, capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12. Counts 9 through 13, sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18. And counts 14 through 20, lewd or lascivious molestation. How do you plead?
Guilty.